What up guys? Welcome back. Mike in the Woods here, and for today's video, we're going to be taking a surprisingly in-depth look at the EDC bag I've been using for the past 5 or so years, the Condor Messenger Bag. If you've seen any of my other gear review videos by now, you know the drill. We're going to take a look at the pros, the cons, the specifications, and who would get a good use out of it. I always strive to bring you fair and honest reviews and give you as much information as I possibly can to make an informed purchasing decision. While buying from my Amazon affiliate links certainly helps out the channel, I would rather you not buy if it's a piece of crap or if it's not going to be right for you. I like to provide a neutral approach by providing a balanced number of likes and dislikes so that the review is not weighted in a particular direction. And if I get anything wrong, please don't be afraid to call me out down below and I'll pin your comment. And one last thing before we dig in, please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below to help out with the channel's engagement. Let's dig in. I picked up the Condor Messenger Bag along with several of the other items I've reviewed about 5 years ago. You'll notice that quite a few pieces of my collection come from this time frame, because at the time I was working at a military surplus store, and this was really when I started picking up on the EDC and outdoors adventuring lifestyle. Condor makes a smaller and similar bag specifically meant for everyday carry use, appropriately called the EDC bag. However, I was looking for something a bit bigger as their EDC specific bag was too small in my opinion and offered things that I can't make use of, such as the concealed carry compartment since I'm Canadian and concealed carry isn't really a thing up here. Condor is a well-known brand, although a little muddled in reputation due to their focus on overseas manufacturing and occasional quality control flop. However, I find that they hit more often than they miss, and I certainly have no problems with their gear, and the few items of theirs that I've used have been reliable. Their messenger bag seemed to fit the bill of what I was looking for in the EDC bag. It was big enough to house everything I wanted to put in it, and the messenger bag style meant that I could also have a backpack on without the two packs interfering with one another. At the time, I didn't have my car or my electric skateboard and had to walk or bus everywhere, so this capability was important. I'm a programmer by trade, and my day-to-day has me in a relatively safe urban environment, whether it be working from home or at work in the office, or somewhere in between. My daily life doesn't really see me near the wilderness at all. Except for a small survival Altoids tin, I don't really need to worry about wilderness survival gear in my everyday carry. If you want to see a complete teardown at everything I have in my EDC bag, I'll link to that video down below, as well as my beginner's guide to EDC bags if you're interested. So, for the bag itself, let's take a look at what's going on here. Material-wise, it's your standard nylon construction. Similar to the Condor EDC bag, it has a concealed carry compartment as well, along with some elastic loops that can hold 3 AR mags or 6 pistol mags. And like I said before, as a Canadian, I'll never make use of these, but thankfully they don't interfere with the use of the bag's main compartments and can be used for securing other things in place, whatever that may be. It has an adjustable shoulder strap with a quick release buckle. I've never needed to use it yet, but I think it's a very good safety feature, and in my testing, it's good for when you need to drop the pack as fast as possible. Although I don't really recommend doing that if you have any items in your pack that can be easily damaged, like a laptop or a tablet. It also has an adjustable waist strap for securing the pack to your body more securely when you're walking, jogging, or if you're me, riding around on an electric skateboard. It's very useful to hold it in place and not have it slide around, messing with your center of gravity. As a tactical bag, it, of course, is absolutely loaded with MOLLE out the wazoo. There's a variety of MOLLE on the front if you want to expand there, although personally I don't recommend it, as when the bag is full, it's already a pretty beefy boy. There's also MOLLE on the sides of the bag, which for me is the most ideal place for expansion. Currently on one end I have my first aid kit, and on the other I have a Mil-Spec Monkey bottle corset strapped on for my coffee mug. And lastly, there's the MOLLE straps on the connection points where you can add a small pouch or attach small knickknacks for easy access. I have my EDC flashlight on there and frequently store my sunglasses on there when I'm not using them. The bag also has a small D-ring dangling off it, which I have attached a carabiner to and is where I clip my keys. There's also a Velcro patch along the front flap if you want to mount an ID or morale patch. The messenger bag also has a lot of compartments. The rearmost compartment is the longest, which is an ideal place to store things like laptops or tablets, books, documents, or anything else that's relatively flat, as this compartment is the one that sits innermost against your body. After that is the main compartment, and easily the biggest with the most storage space. This is where I store my less utilized and loose gear. The frontmost compartment, which is inside of the main bag flap, is easier to access and is where I store my more frequently used items. charging cables, my passport, snacks, or any day-specific items I happen to be carrying. Flipping the bag flap over, you'll see a variety of smaller compartments on the underside. There's the bigger of the three, which is where I store my toiletries. The smaller of the two is supposed to be an ID pouch, but is where I store a small number of tools and replacement batteries for my flashlight. And the last long one on the bottom is where I keep my writing utensils, although it's also meant for things like larger flashlights or batons if you live somewhere where it's legal to carry them. Aside from that, here's the basic specifications of the Condor messenger bag as provided to us by Condor. I'll give you the overall dimensions. You can see the smaller compartment dimensions on the screen, but pause the video if you want to read them. The main dimensions are 27.9 centimeters by 35.5 centimeters by 12.7 centimeters. That's the size of the whole bag. It comes in olive drab or black, and it has an empty weight of approximately 454 grams. Alright, so we've taken a very extensive look at the bag, so now I'll take some time to give you my own personal likes and dislikes about it. Starting off with the cons. The first one, years of carry, has absolutely destroyed the lining that sits against my leg. After 5 years, the inner lining is starting to wear away as well, and the inner foam pad is now starting to become visible. Something to consider if you'll be wearing something abrasive that the pack will be sitting up against when you're carrying it. The second one of the zippers on the main compartment has started loosening its grip on the teeth of the zipper, and it does not link them together properly anymore. This has been an issue for about the past year or so. I can attempt to fix it by using my multi-tool to compress the two halves of the zipper back together to fix it, but this is something to definitely keep in mind if you think your gear will be applying constant stress to the zipper. The third thing, while relatively large, the rearmost compartment is not big enough to fit a moderately sized laptop. My old laptop would not fit, and it wasn't until recently when I purchased a Microsoft Surface that I could actually EDC my laptop and tablet with me. So be sure before purchasing that your laptop will fit in the bag if that's one of its intended usages. And the last one is, when not in use, the waist strap just kinda dangles. It gets in the way and is a dangerous tripping hazard unless you tuck it out of the way. I've taken to just folding mine up and around the main strap of the bag and letting it hang there. Not a huge concern, but mildly annoying nonetheless, and I thought it warranted inclusion. And of course, there are things that I do like about the bag. First one, having many separate compartments is absolutely stellar for organization, letting me dedicate specific areas of the bag to individual purposes, and I know precisely where to look to find a given EDC item while digging around. Second one, I love having the MOLLE for expansion and customization. Having the bottle corset on the bag has been amazing for carting my coffee around, freeing up my hands for other tasks, and also letting me mount my first aid kit externally so it's quick and easy to access. You can put anything you want on this bag that makes sense. The sky is really the limit here. The third thing, the waist strap has been very useful, and it makes the bag so much easier to carry when on walks, jogging or running, or riding around on my electric skateboard. It secures the bag in place and stops it from shifting around, which plays hell with your center of gravity. And the fourth one, the price is actually really good for the quality that you get. The zipper and lining issues aside, the bag isn't showing any other signs of breaking down, and I suspect that I can get at least another couple more years of use out of it, potentially even pushing past a decade if I take good care of it and patch it and fix it as needed. For the $70 it cost me, not bad at all. And now we move on to our final segment, use cases. Who do I think will get a good use out of the Condor messenger bag? Well, personally, I think it's perfect for the type of use that I'm using it for. An everyday carry bag for your average Joe in urban environments, for people who want organization and customization. Anyone who wants to be able to personalize their bag with add-ons as needed, and it's not too big or unwieldy that carrying it around is a hassle, while also being big enough to not be too restrictive with what you can carry. As for who wouldn't get a good use out of it, I think anyone who has specialized tools they need to carry, like plumbers or technicians, would be better suited to a purpose-built or larger EDC option. As well, anyone with a larger laptop would be better suited to, say, Condor's laptop-specific bag, and anyone with a more rural or wilderness environment would be better off suited with something more appropriate to the outdoors environment. Overall, like I always say, I think Condor gets too much flack because their products are made overseas. I think the messenger bag is absolutely worth the price, even despite the flaws I mentioned earlier. I think it still gets the Mike in the Woods seal of approval. Thanks for watching, guys, and please be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below if you have any ideas for gear you want me to review in the future. These interactions really help out with the channel's engagement, which brings it to the attention of YouTube's algorithm and helps me accelerate the channel to 1,000 subscribers and higher, allowing me to bring you content that's better and more frequent. I'll leave Amazon affiliate links to the Condor Messenger Bag in the description down below, so be sure to check that out or any of the other links if you want to help out the channel. I'll also leave a link to my YouTube playlist of other gear review videos that I've done. See you next week, my dudes.